My wife booked hotel room 412 with my best friend since age 7 while texting me. She was at a birthday party in Phoenix that I already knew was fake, so I documented everything. That was 2 years ago. She still leaves flowers at our sold house every Friday at 3 p.m., never knowing our daughter was born on the real Josephine's birthday. My friend from when we were kids has always said my wife is really attractive, and he's mentioned many times that if I wasn't in the picture, he'd absolutely ask her out. In the beginning, I figured it was just a compliment, but he kept saying it over and over, so I decided to ask him directly if he actually had feelings for my wife. He told me that I was his best bud, and while he did think my wife was incredibly tempting, he'd never make a move on her since I was his bro. This conversation was one we had 6 months ago, and it put me at ease. But just a month later, he moved on from telling me how hot he finds her, to literally saying it to her. He was over at our house, and when we all had a few drinks in us, he commented to my wife that I am a lucky man because, and he proceeded to look her up and down, and then go, wow. I told him to knock it off, but my wife just laughed and told me not to take it so seriously. Now, my wife has always been a very flirty person, to the point where I have had to tell her not to be so flirty with everyone on many occasions, because it makes me uncomfortable. But the thing is, I trust her completely. Whenever she does flirt, I worry not because I don't trust her, but because I don't trust whoever she is jokingly flirting back with. In this case, it is different, I suppose. I have every reason to believe that I should trust my best friend. So, back to the night my best friend was over. The next day I asked him not to make comments like that to my wife, and he said he was cool with it, but the next time he was over, he did it again. And just like last time, my wife laughed and said that his girlfriend must be an equally lucky woman. They both laughed, leaving me in awe as I watched my best friend flirt with my wife as she reciprocated. The next piece of evidence, you could say, came another month later, when my best friend sent my wife his gym progress pics and asked her what she thinks of them. The only reason I found this out is because she received a text off him while we were both looking at her phone, and she tried to hide the chat. Their conversation about the gym pics happened to be the most recent, and the pictures themselves seemed very inviting, with him flexing topless, and my heart responding with shocked face and heart eyes emoji, once again saying that his girlfriend was very lucky. She managed to convince me at the time that it was nothing, and I let it go. I saw no more evidence until one more month later, when we all went out on double date. By the end of the night, we all ended up in my house having some drinks, and my best friend and wife decided to go out and smoke in the backyard, but when his girlfriend and I asked to join, we were not allowed because they were having a private chat. I was slowly losing my mind over the course of the next while, because I did not want to face the reality that they are hooking up, and I still don't. But yesterday came a hard slap in the face, which makes me finally realize that they are likely hooking up. I don't want to believe it, but I may have to. Leading up to this came a few more instances of them texting and playfully touching each other's arms when together, but nothing very major that would be a red flag alone. But since I had my suspicions, I was as attentive as a hawk the whole time. Anyway, yesterday, I saw on my wife's email that there was a hotel booked for 2 people, but in a room with 2 single beds for a getaway next weekend, and saw that the booking had been registered under my wife's and my best friend's name. Later that day, I asked my wife if she was free next weekend to visit my parents with me, just to gauge her reaction, but she said she couldn't, as she was actually planning to go to one of her girlfriend's birthdays and stay the weekend since the trip is states away. I had caught her out, but I said nothing. I just know she is likely cheating on me, but the fact that there are 2 single beds instead of a double gives me hope. I stared at the hotel confirmation on her laptop screen, my hands trembling as I took a photo with my phone. 2 single beds, Jake and Elena, next weekend. The same weekend she'd be at her friend's birthday party states away. I closed the laptop and walked to the kitchen, pouring myself a glass of water. My hands shook so badly that water splashed onto the counter. I grabbed paper towels and wiped it up, then wiped it again, then a third time. The counter was already clean, but I kept wiping, needing something to do with my hands. The front door opened. Elena walked in, carrying shopping bags, humming some pop song. She kicked off her heels and padded into the kitchen in her stockings. "Hey babe," she said, setting the bags on the counter. "I got those steaks you like for dinner tomorrow." I nodded, still holding the wet paper towel. She opened the fridge and started putting groceries away. I watched her move around the kitchen, her movements casual and relaxed. No guilt, no hesitation, just my wife putting away groceries like any other day. "You okay?" she asked, glancing at me. "You look pale." "Just tired from work," I said. My voice sounded normal. How did my voice sound normal? She walked over and pressed her hand to my forehead. "You don't feel warm. Maybe you should lie down before dinner." I stepped back from her touch. "I'm fine." She shrugged and went back to the groceries. I threw the paper towel in the trash and left the kitchen. In our bedroom, I sat on the edge of the bed and pulled out my phone. The hotel confirmation stared back at me from the photo. "Oh, Victoria Inn and Suites. 2 single beds. Check-in. Friday at 3 p.m. I opened my contacts and scrolled to Jake's number. My thumb hovered over the call button. What would I even say? I'd already confronted him multiple times. Each time he'd promised to back off. Each time he'd gotten bolder instead. I put the phone down and lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Maybe the 2 beds meant something. Maybe they really were going as friends. Maybe other people were coming too. Maybe I was paranoid and seeing things that weren't there. But then I remembered the gym photos, the heart eyes emoji, the private chats, the touching, the way they looked at each other when they thought I wasn't watching. Elena appeared in the doorway. "Dinner's ready. I made that pasta you like." I sat up. Actually, I was thinking we could go out tonight, that new Italian place downtown. Oh, she frowned. I already cooked though. Besides, I'm exhausted. Long day at work. Right, of course. We ate dinner mostly in silence. Elena scrolled through her phone while eating, occasionally showing me funny videos. I pushed pasta around my plate and forced myself to take bites. Everything tasted like cardboard. So what's the plan for this weekend? I asked, trying to sound casual. She didn't look up from her phone. I told you Josephine's birthday thing. I'll probably leave Friday afternoon to hit traffic. Right, Josephine. I took a sip of water. Which Josephine is this again? From college. You met her at our wedding. Oh yeah, the tall one? No, that's Mac Victoria. Josephine's the short blonde one. Super bubbly. I had no memory of any Josephine from our wedding, but I nodded anyway. Where's the party? Phoenix. Her parents have a place there. That's a long drive. Yeah, but a bunch of us are carpooling. Should be fun. She finally looked up from her phone. Why all the questions? Just curious. Seems like a long way to go for a birthday party. Well, it's her 30th. Kind of a big deal. She went back to her phone. Plus, I haven't seen some of these girls in forever. I watched her typing, her fingers flying across the screen. Who was she texting? Jake? Making plans for their weekend getaway? After dinner, Elena went to take a shower. I heard the water running and grabbed her phone from the nightstand. Her passcode had always been her birthday. I typed it in. Incorrect. I tried our anniversary. Incorrect. One more attempt before it locked. I set the phone down, my heart pounding. When had she changed her passcode? The shower turned off. I quickly moved away from the nightstand and pretended to fold laundry. Elena came out wrapped in a towel, her skin still damp. Can you grab my phone? She asked. I'm expecting a call from Josie about the carpool situation. I handed her the phone, watching as she typed in her passcode. Her thumb moved too fast for me to catch the numbers. She saw me watching and raised an eyebrow. Everything okay? You've been weird all evening, just thinking about work stuff. Well, stop. You'll give yourself an ulcer. She dropped the towel and started getting dressed. I turned away, busying myself with the laundry again. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it immediately, a smile spreading across her face as she read the message. She typed a quick response, then set the phone face down on the dresser. Who was that? I asked. Just Josie confirming Friday. She pulled on pajama shorts and one of my old t-shirts. I'll probably head out around 2 to miss rush hour. Maybe I could drive you. Save you the trouble of parking at her place? Don't be silly. It's like 3 hours each way. Besides, aren't you working Friday? I could take a half day. She walked over and kissed my cheek. You're sweet, but I'm good. The girls and I have a whole road trip playlist planned. I nodded and went back to folding the same shirt for the third time. Elena climbed into bed and turned on the TV, flipping through channels. I finished the laundry and joined her, lying stiffly on my side of the bed. Want to watch something? She asked. Sure. She put on some reality show about people renovating houses. I stared at the screen without seeing it. My mind kept going back to the hotel confirmation. 2 single beds. Why 2 singles instead of a king? Maybe to maintain some pretense of innocence? Or maybe they really were just friends, and I was losing my mind. Elena laughed at something on the show. I glanced at her. She looked completely relaxed, one hand behind her head, the other resting on her stomach. No signs of guilt or anxiety. Either she was an incredible actress, or I was completely wrong about everything. Her phone buzzed again. She grabbed it, glanced at the screen, then set it back down without responding. Who keeps texting you? I asked. Just work stuff. Oh, Theodore wants the quarterly reports moved up. She yawned. I'll deal with it tomorrow. We watched TV for another hour. Elena fell asleep first, her breathing becoming deep and even. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. I could confront her now, wake her up and demand answers. Show her the photo of the hotel confirmation. But what if I was wrong? What if there really was a birthday party? What if the hotel was for something else entirely? I'd look like a paranoid, controlling husband. She'd be furious. She might even leave me just for accusing her. I rolled onto my side and watched her sleep. In the dim light from the TV, she looked peaceful, beautiful. The same woman I'd married 5 years ago. The woman I'd loved since college. The woman who might be planning to spend the weekend with my best friend. My phone vibrated on the nightstand. I grabbed it, squinting at the bright screen. A text from Jake. Yo bro, you free Saturday? Wanted to hit the gym and grab beers after. I stared at the message. Saturday, when he was supposedly going to be at a hotel with my wife. Was this his attempt at an alibi? Pretend to make plans with me so I wouldn't suspect anything? I typed back, can't. Going to visit my parents this weekend. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, cool. Maybe next weekend. Next weekend. Like nothing was happening. Like he wasn't about to betray 20 years of friendship. Like he wasn't planning to sleep with my wife. I deleted the conversation and set my phone down. Elena stirred beside me, rolling onto her side. Her shirt rode up, exposing her lower back. I pulled the blanket up to cover her, then turned away. Sleep didn't come for hours. When it finally did, I dreamed of hotels and heart emojis and Jake's stupid flexing photos. I woke up multiple times, each time checking to make sure Elena was still beside me. Each time she was, sleeping peacefully, unaware of my turmoil. Morning came too soon. Elena's alarm went off at 6. She groaned and hit snooze, burrowing deeper into the pillows. I pretended to be asleep as she finally got up and shuffled to the bathroom. The shower started again. I grabbed my phone and pulled up Josephine's Instagram. If there really was a birthday party, surely there'd be some mention of it. I scrolled through her recent posts. Pictures of her dog, a sunset, her at brunch with friends. Nothing about an upcoming birthday or party. I checked her stories. Empty. I went to Facebook. Her profile was private, but I could see her birthday listed. March 15th. It was currently October. My stomach dropped. I checked again, thinking I'd misread. March 15th. Not October. Not this weekend. The shower turned off. I quickly closed the apps and pretended to just be waking up as Elena came back into the room. "Morning, sleepyhead," she said, already pulling on her work clothes. "Morning." My voice came out rough. I cleared my throat. "Sleep well?" "Like a baby." "You?" "Not great. Kept waking up." "You should try that melatonin I bought." She applied lipstick in the mirror, then blotted with a tissue. "I'm gonna be late tonight. Team meeting that'll probably run over." "On a Thursday?" "Yeah." Oh, Theodore's being a pain about the quarterly projections. She grabbed her purse and phone. "There's leftover pasta in the fridge if you get hungry." She leaned down to kiss me goodbye. I turned my head so her lips hit my cheek instead of my mouth. If she noticed, she didn't say anything. "Have a good day," she said, already heading for the door. "You too." I listened to her heels click down the hallway, then the front door closing. Her car started in the driveway. I waited until I heard her drive away before getting up. In the home office, I opened her laptop again. The hotel confirmation was still in her recent emails. I forwarded it to myself, then deleted it from her sent folder. My hands moved on autopilot, like I was watching someone else commit this violation of privacy. I called in sick to work. My boss sounded concerned, said I'd seemed distracted lately. I made up something about a stomach bug, and promised to be back Monday. The day stretched endlessly. I cleaned the house, did laundry, organized the garage, anything to keep my hands busy while my mind raced. I kept checking my phone, expecting Elena to text about my sick day. She didn't. Around noon, I drove past Jake's gym. His truck was in the parking lot. I sat there for 20 minutes, debating whether to go in. Finally, I drove home without getting out of the car. Elena came home at 8, looking exhausted. She kicked off her heels and collapsed on the couch. "Rough day?" I asked. "The worst. Oh, Theodore made us redo the entire presentation." She rubbed her temples. "I need wine. You want some?" "I'm good." She went to the kitchen and came back with a large glass of red. "How was your day? Feeling better?" "Yeah, much better. Just needed rest." "Good." She took a long sip of wine. "Oh, I meant to tell you. Change of plans for this weekend." My heart stopped. "Oh? Yeah." Josie texted. "A couple girls can't make it Friday, so we're pushing departure to Saturday morning instead." She pulled out her phone. "Which actually works better. I can get the laundry done Friday night." I nodded, not trusting my voice. Saturday morning. The hotel check-in was Friday at 3. Was she adjusting her lie to match her real plans? "You sure you don't want to come?" she asked. "I know Josephine would love to see you. I thought it was a girls' weekend." "Well, yeah, but you could drop me off at least. Make a mini road trip out of it." I studied her face. She looked sincere, hopeful even. For a moment, I almost said yes, almost called her bluff. But then I remembered the hotel confirmation. Jake's name next to hers. "Can't. I promised my mom we'd help with yard work." "Right, I forgot." She finished her wine and stood up. "I'm gonna shower and crash. This day unalived me." She headed to the bedroom. I stayed on the couch, staring at nothing. Saturday morning. That gave me Friday night to figure out what to do. Follow them? Confront them at the hotel? Let it happen and use it as evidence in the divorce? The word stopped me cold. Divorce. Was that where this was heading? 5 years of marriage ending because my best friend couldn't keep his hands off my wife? Because my wife enjoyed the attention too much to stop it? I pulled up the hotel website on my phone. The O Victoria Inn and Suites, a boutique hotel about an hour away. I clicked through photos of rooms, restaurants, the pool area. It looked romantic, intimate, the kind of place you'd take someone for a weekend getaway, not the kind of place you'd meet your best friend for a platonic hangout. My phone rang. Jake's name appeared on the screen. I let it go to voicemail, then listened to the message. "Hey bro, just wanted to check if you're sure about Saturday. Sebastian's gonna be in town and wanted to get the old crew together. Let me know if you change your mind." Sebastian. I hadn't heard from him in years. Was he really coming to town, or was this another layer to Jake's alibi? I deleted the voicemail without responding. Elena emerged from the bedroom in her pajamas, hair wrapped in a towel. "You coming to bed?" "In a bit. Gonna watch the game." "Okay, don't stay up too late." She paused in the doorway. "Love you." The words hung in the air. I forced myself to respond. "Love you too." She smiled and disappeared into the bedroom. I turned on the TV and found a game, any game, just for the noise. My mind wasn't on basketball. It was on hotel rooms and lies, and the collapse of everything I thought I knew. Thursday night bled into Friday morning. I barely slept again, spending most of the night staring at the ceiling and running through scenarios. By the time Elena's alarm went off, I'd made my decision. I was going to that hotel. Friday morning arrived with Elena's alarm piercing through my restless state. She stretched beside me, her arm brushing against my chest as she reached for her phone. I watched through half-closed eyes as she checked her messages, that familiar smile creeping across her face. "Morning," she murmured, already sliding out of bed. I grunted in response, rolling over to face the wall. The mattress shifted as she stood, and I heard her padding to the bathroom. The shower started moments later. I grabbed my phone and checked the time. 6:15 a.m. In less than 9 hours, she'd be checking into that hotel with Jake. My stomach churned at the thought. The shower stopped after 10 minutes. Elena emerged wrapped in her robe, humming that same pop song from yesterday. She moved around the bedroom, pulling clothes from the closet and dresser. I watched her reflection in the mirror as she dropped the robe and got dressed. Business casual today, black slacks and a blue blouse that Jake had complimented last month. "You're awake," she said, catching my eye in the mirror. "Couldn't sleep. Still not feeling well?" She walked over and felt my forehead again. "You should probably stay home today. Already called in." "Good." She went back to getting ready, applying makeup with practiced precision. "I'll be home early today. Maybe we can catch a movie tonight?" "I thought you were leaving for Phoenix tomorrow morning." "Right, but that's not until like 9 or 10. We'd have the whole evening." She turned from the mirror, lipstick in hand. "Unless you're too sick? We'll see how I feel." She nodded and finished her makeup. I watched her pack her work bag, noting how she double-checked her phone before dropping it inside. When she leaned down to kiss me goodbye, I didn't turn away this time. Her lips were soft against mine, tasting of mint and lip gloss. Feel better, she said. Love you. You too. After she left, I lay in bed for another hour, planning my next moves. I'd follow her after work, see where she really went. If she came home like she promised, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the hotel was for something else entirely, but I knew better. I got up and made coffee, then sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. The hotel confirmation email stared back at me. Check-in at 3 p.m. I mapped the route. O Victoria Inn and Suites was 47 miles northeast, just off the highway. An easy drive from Elena's office. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother asking if we were still coming this weekend. I replied that Elena had a work thing, but I'd try to stop by Sunday. Another lie to add to the pile. I spent the morning cleaning obsessively, vacuumed every room twice, scrubbed the bathrooms until they gleamed, reorganized the garage again, anything to keep my hands busy and my mind occupied. Around noon, Jake posted on Instagram a photo of him at the gym, flexing in the mirror. The caption read, "Crushing legs today. Weekend warrior mode activated, weekend warrior." Was that code for Elena? I screenshotted the post and checked his story. Nothing else. I went to Elena's Instagram. She'd posted a throwback photo from college with some of her girlfriends. Can't wait to see these beauties tomorrow. Phoenix bound, dirty 30, dirty 30. Josephine's birthday was in March. I made myself a sandwich but could only manage a few bites. Everything tasted like ash. I dumped the rest in the trash and went back to cleaning. At 2 p.m., I got in my car and drove to Elena's office building. I parked across the street where I could see the exit to the parking garage. Her silver Accord was visible on the third level. I waited. At 2:47, Elena emerged from the stairwell, talking on her phone. She walked quickly to her car, still chatting animatedly. I couldn't hear the conversation, but she was smiling, gesturing with her free hand. She got in her car and pulled out of the space. I started my engine and followed at a distance. She took the usual route at first, like she was heading home. My heart lifted slightly. Maybe she really was coming home early like she promised. But then she passed our exit. She continued north on the highway, staying in the right lane, driving exactly the speed limit. I hung back several car lengths, keeping her in sight. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. 20 minutes later, she took the exit for Riverside Road, the same exit for O Victoria Inn and Suites. I followed, my heart hammering against my ribs. She turned into a shopping center and parked outside a lingerie store. I pulled into a spot 3 rows back and watched as she got out and went inside. 15 minutes later, she emerged carrying a small pink bag. She put it in her trunk, then got back in the car. The hotel was 5 minutes away. I followed her there, watching as she pulled into the circular drive. A valet approached, but she waved him off and parked in the side lot instead. I drove past and parked on the street, then walked back to where I could see the entrance. Elena got out of her car carrying an overnight bag I hadn't seen her pack. When had she put that in her trunk? She also grabbed the pink lingerie bag. My chest tightened as I watched her walk confidently through the sliding doors. I waited 5 minutes, then followed. The lobby was all marble and soft lighting, with a massive chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Elena stood at the check-in desk, chatting with the clerk. I ducked behind a pillar and pretended to look at my phone. "Room 412, I heard the clerk say. "Elevators are to your right. Enjoy your stay, Mrs. Stewart." Mrs. Stewart. She'd used her maiden name. Elena thanked him and headed for the elevators. I watched the numbers above the doors light up. 2, 3, 4, then stop. I approached the desk. "Excuse me, I'm supposed to meet my friend Jake Morrison here. Has he checked in yet?" The clerk typed something into his computer. "I'm sorry, sir, but I don't show a reservation under that name. Maybe it's under both names? Jake Morrison and Elena Stewart?" More typing. "Ah, yes, I see it. Miss Stewart just checked in a moment ago. Room 412. Would you like me to call up?" "No, that's okay. I'll text him. Thanks." I walked back outside, my mind reeling. She'd checked in alone, but the reservation was definitely under both names. Where was Jake? I sat in my car and waited. 20 minutes later, Jake's truck pulled into the lot. He parked near Elena's car and got out carrying a duffel bag. He looked around nervously, then headed inside. I gave him 5 minutes, then went back to the lobby. The same clerk was at the desk. "Can I help you, sir?" "Yeah. What room was 412 again?" "My friend gave me the number, but I forgot." He frowned. "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out room information. Perhaps you could call your friend?" I nodded and walked away, pulling out my phone. I had the room number. That was enough. I found the stairwell and climbed to the 4th floor. The hallway was quiet, with soft carpet muffling my footsteps. Room 412 was near the end. I stood outside the door, listening. Voices inside. Elena's laugh. Jake's deeper rumble. The clink of glasses. I raised my hand to knock, then stopped. What would I say? What would I do? Burst in and catch them in the act? Make a scene? Instead, I took out my phone and called Elena. The voices inside stopped. I heard movement, then Elena's muffled voice. "It's him." Jake said something I couldn't make out. Then Elena answered the phone. "Hey babe," she said, sounding perfectly normal. "How are you feeling?" "Better," I said. "Just wondering when you'd be home." "Oh, actually, about that. Oh, Theodore called an emergency meeting. The quarterly reports are a disaster. I'm probably going to be stuck here until late." "That sucks. Want me to bring you dinner?" No, they're ordering in for us. Chinese, I think. I'll just grab something when I get home." In the background, I heard what sounded like a door closing. "Was that someone coming into your office?" I asked. "Yeah, Mac Victoria just walked in. I should probably go. The meeting's starting." "Okay, love you. Love you too. Don't wait up." She hung up. I stood in the hallway, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to the silence. Then I heard it. Elena's voice, muffled through the door. God, that was close. Jake's response was clearer. You're getting good at this. Elena laughed. I've had practice. Practice. How long had this been going on? I walked back to the stairwell and descended to the lobby. The bar was off to the right, all dark wood and leather chairs. I ordered a whiskey and sat where I could see the elevators. An hour passed, then 2. I nursed my drink and watched people come and go. Business travelers, couples on romantic getaways, a bachelorette party that took over half the bar. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena. Meeting's running super late. Probably won't be home until after midnight. Sorry, baby. I didn't respond. At 7 p.m., the elevator dinged and Jake stepped out, alone. He was wearing different clothes, jeans and a button-down instead of the gym clothes from earlier. He walked through the lobby without looking around and headed outside. I followed at a distance. He got in his truck and drove off. I ran to my car and tailed him, expecting him to head home. Instead, he drove to a sports bar downtown. Sebastian's truck was in the parking lot, so Sebastian really was in town. Jake's alibi was real. I parked and followed Jake inside. The place was packed with the Friday night crowd. Jake made his way to a corner booth where Sebastian sat with 2 other guys from our old crew. They greeted Jake with the usual back slaps and fist bumps. I stayed near the bar, keeping my back to them. I could hear snippets of their conversation over the noise. Talk about work, sports, Sebastian's new job in Dallas, normal guy stuff. No mention of Elena or hotels or affairs. After 20 minutes, I left. Jake would be there for hours, providing himself with the perfect alibi while Elena waited in that hotel room, in the lingerie she'd bought this afternoon. I drove home and poured myself another drink, then another. By 10 p.m. I was properly hammered, sitting on the couch and staring at our wedding photos on the mantel. Elena in her white dress, radiant and beautiful. Jake standing next to me as my best man, grinning like an idiot. When had it started? When had my best friend decided my wife was fair game? When had my wife decided our marriage vows meant nothing? My phone rang. Jake. Yo, bro. He sounded hammered. You sure you can't come out? Sebastian's here. Can't, I slurred, not feeling good. That sucks, man. Hey, is Elena around? Sebastian wanted to say hi. She's at work. Late meeting. On a Friday? That's brutal. He paused. Everything good with you guys? The question caught me off guard. Why wouldn't it be? No reason. You just seem stressed lately. And Elena mentioned you've been acting weird. When did she mention that? I don't know, man. We text sometimes. Friend stuff. Like gym photos and heart emojis. I'm fine, I said. Just work stress. Okay, cool. Hey, if you need to talk about anything, I'm good. Have fun with Sebastian. I hung up and threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor. The screen was cracked but still working. At 11:30, I heard a car in the driveway. I was still on the couch, empty glass in hand. The front door opened and Elena walked in, looking perfectly put together. No signs of a 6-hour meeting. Hey, she said softly. You're still up. Couldn't sleep. She set her purse down and came over to the couch. Have you been drinking? A little. She sat next to me and rubbed my back. Bad day? I almost laughed. You could say that. Want to talk about it? I turned to look at her. Really look at her. Her makeup was perfect. Her hair was styled. She smelled like her usual perfume, not Jake's cologne. If I hadn't followed her, I'd never have known. How was your meeting? I asked. Exhausting. Oh, Theodore's being impossible about these numbers. She stood up. I'm going to shower and go to bed. You coming? In a bit. She leaned down and kissed my forehead. Don't stay up too late, and maybe ease up on the whiskey. She went to the bedroom. I heard the shower start and wondered if she was washing Jake off her skin. When it stopped, I was still on the couch. Elena came out in her pajamas. Sure you're okay? She asked. Just thinking. About what? Us. Life. Everything. She walked over and sat on the arm of the couch. That's pretty deep for a Friday night. Do you ever think about what would have happened if we hadn't met? What do you mean? Like, if I hadn't been at that party in college, if you'd ended up with someone else? She frowned. That's a weird question. Is it? Yeah, it is. We did meet. We did fall in love. We got married. Why think about alternatives? Maybe because alternatives are already happening. The words hung between us. Elena's frown deepened. What's that supposed to mean? I shrugged and took another sip of whiskey. Nothing. Just hammered thoughts. She studied me for a long moment. You're being really weird lately. Is this about Jake? My hand tightened on the glass. What about Jake? The way you've been acting when he's around. All suspicious and jealous. It's not like you. Maybe I have reasons to be suspicious. Like what? Because he thinks I'm attractive? Newsflash. Lots of people think I'm attractive. It doesn't mean anything. It does when it's my best friend. When he won't stop talking about it. When you encourage it. Elena stood up, crossing her arms. I don't encourage anything. I'm just not insecure enough to freak out over some compliments. Compliments. Right. That's all it is. Yes. That's all it is. God, what is wrong with you? Jake is your best friend. He's been nothing but respectful. I laughed. Harsh and bitter. Respectful. Sending you shirtless pics is respectful? He was proud of his progress. I complimented him the same way I'd compliment any friend. With heart eyes? It's an emoji. It doesn't mean anything. Everything means something, Elena. She threw her hands up. I can't do this right now. I'm exhausted, you're hammered, and you're being paranoid. I'm going to bed. She stormed off to the bedroom and slammed the door. I finished my whiskey and poured another. My phone buzzed on the floor where I'd thrown it. A text from Jake through the cracked screen. Great night, bro. Wish you could have made it. Sebastian says hi. I deleted it without responding. Saturday morning came with a pounding headache and Elena moving around the bedroom. I kept my eyes closed as she packed, listening to drawers opening and closing, the zip of her suitcase. I know you're awake, she said. I opened my eyes. She was dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, hair pulled back in a ponytail. I'm leaving, she said. The girls are picking me up in 20 minutes. Which girls? Josie and Mac Victoria. We're taking Mac Victoria's SUV. Have fun at the party. She sat on the edge of the bed. Look, about last night. I'm sorry I got defensive. You're right that Jake can be a bit much sometimes. When I get back, maybe we should talk about setting some boundaries. Boundaries? Sure. I mean it. I don't want this to come between us. She leaned down and kissed my cheek. I love you. Love you too. She grabbed her suitcase and headed for the door. I'll text you when I get there. I listened to her leave, then got up and looked out the window. No SUV in the driveway. No friends picking her up. Just Elena loading her suitcase into her Accord and driving away. I showered and made coffee, trying to clear my head. The smart thing would be to let it go. Let her have her weekend with Jake. Gather evidence. File for divorce on Monday. But I wasn't feeling smart. I got dressed and drove back to the hotel. Elena's car was in the same spot from yesterday. Jake's truck was parked 3 spaces over. I went inside and straight to the bar, ordering coffee this time. The bartender from last night recognized me. Back again? Must have been some meeting. Something like that. I sat where I could watch the elevators and waited. An hour passed, then 2. My phone stayed silent. No text from Elena saying she'd arrived in Phoenix. Around noon, the elevator opened and Elena stepped out, alone. She was wearing a sundress I'd bought her for her birthday and sandals that showed off her pedicure. She looked radiant, happy. She walked through the lobby and out to the pool area. I followed at a distance, watching through the glass doors as she settled onto a lounge chair and pulled out a book. Jake appeared 10 minutes later, wearing swim trunks and carrying 2 drinks. He handed one to Elena and sat in the chair next to hers. They clinked glasses and laughed about something. I watched them for an hour. They looked like any other couple on vacation. Jake rubbing sunscreen on Elena's shoulders. Elena playfully splashing him when he made some joke. The casual touches and easy intimacy of people who were comfortable with each other. More comfortable than Elena had been with me in months. My phone buzzed. A text from Elena. Made it to Phoenix. Mac Victoria drives like a maniac LOL. Party starts at 7. Miss you. I stared at the message, then at Elena by the pool. She wasn't even looking at her phone. When had she sent this? Had she pre-written it? I texted back, have fun, be safe. She didn't check her phone, didn't see my response, too busy laughing at something Jake was saying. I left the hotel and drove around aimlessly. I ended up at the park where Jake and I used to play basketball as kids. The courts were empty. I sat on the bleachers and remembered simpler times, before marriages and affairs and betrayals. My phone rang. My mother. Hi, honey. Just wanted to confirm you're coming tomorrow? Yeah, Mom. I'll be there. Is Elena coming? No. She has a thing with friends. That's too bad. I made her favorite cookies. Save them for next time. Is everything okay? You sound tired. Just a long week. Well, get some rest. Your father needs help with the gutters and you know his back. I'll be there, Mom. Promise. We said goodbye, and I sat in the empty park until the sun started to set. Then I drove home to my empty house. I ordered pizza and ate it mechanically while watching TV. Everything felt surreal, like I was watching someone else's life fall apart. My phone stayed quiet. No more texts from Elena. No calls from Jake. At 10 p.m., I pulled up Instagram. Elena had posted a photo from what looked like a restaurant. Her and several girlfriends raising champagne glasses. Happy Dirty 30 Josephine. Love you, girl. I studied the photo. I recognized Mac Victoria and a few others from college, but no Josephine. At least not the blonde one Elena had described, unless she'd drastically changed her appearance. I zoomed in on the background. The restaurant looked upscale. Phoenix, supposedly, but something about the decor seemed familiar. I pulled up the O Victoria Inn website. Their restaurant, the Victoria Room, had photos on the gallery page. Same burgundy wallpaper, same Art Deco light fixtures. Elena wasn't in Phoenix. She was still at the hotel, taking photos with friends to maintain her alibi. I poured myself a drink and sat back down. How much planning had gone into this? How many people were helping her lie to me? My phone buzzed. Jake posting on his Instagram story. A video from some club. Loud music and flashing lights. Saturday night vibes. Sebastian visible in the background, along with a crowd of people I didn't recognize. So Jake was maintaining his alibi too. Out with the boys while Elena sat in their hotel room waiting for him to return. Or maybe she was with him at the club. Maybe that's where the restaurant photo was really taken. I finished my drink and went to bed, but sleep wouldn't come. I lay there staring at the ceiling, imagining Elena and Jake in that hotel room, in the bed they'd shared, the lingerie she'd bought. At 2 a.m., my phone lit up. Elena calling. Hey baby, she said when I answered. She sounded hammered. Did I wake you? No, can't sleep. Aw, you miss me? Something like that. I miss you too. Wish you were here. In the background, I heard a door close and a male voice say something indistinct. Who's that? I asked. Just Mac Victoria. We're sharing a room. She giggled. She's so hammered. We all are. Sounds like quite a party. The best. Josephine's having a blast. We did karaoke and everything. That's great. You sound sad. Are you sad? Just tired. You should sleep. I should sleep. Everyone should sleep. Elena, I love you. You know that? Like so much. You're the best husband ever. The words hit like a punch to the gut. I love you too. Good. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna go. Mac Victoria's puking. Take care of her. I will. Night, baby. Good night. She hung up. I set the phone down and closed my eyes. The best husband ever, while she spent the weekend with my best friend. Sunday arrived gray and drizzling. I dragged myself out of bed and drove to my parents' house. My mother hugged me at the door and immediately started fussing. You look terrible. Are you eating? I'm fine, Mom. You're not fine. You look like you haven't slept in days. She ushered me inside. Coffee? Please. My father was in the living room watching golf. He grunted a greeting without looking away from the TV. Normal Sunday. I spent the morning cleaning gutters in the rain. The physical work helped clear my head. My father held the ladder and occasionally offered commentary on my technique. You're distracted, he said, after I nearly slipped for the third time. Just tired. Problems at home? I looked down at him. My father wasn't one for emotional conversations. What makes you say that? You show up alone, looking like death, and you've checked your phone 20 times in the last hour. Doesn't take a detective. It's complicated. Always is. He steadied the ladder as I climbed down. Your mother and I had a rough patch once. When you were little. This was news to me. You did? She had this coworker, young guy, very charming, always complimenting her, bringing her little gifts, made her feel special in a way I'd forgotten to. What happened? I woke up, started paying attention again, reminded her why she married me in the first place. He looked at me. Sometimes people drift. Doesn't mean it's over. And if they've drifted too far, then you let them go. But you don't know how far is too far until you try to pull them back. We finished the gutters in silence. Inside, my mother had lunch ready. We ate and made small talk about work, the weather, my cousin's new baby, normal family stuff that felt anything but normal. My phone buzzed. Elena texting. Heading home. Should be back by 6. Want to grab dinner? I showed my mother. Elena's on her way back. Oh good. Give her my love, and remind her about the cookies. I stayed another hour, helping my father fix a leaky faucet, and listening to my mother's gossip about the neighbors. When I left, she hugged me extra tight. Whatever's going on, she whispered. You'll figure it out. I drove home through the rain, windshield wipers beating a steady rhythm. Elena's car wasn't in the driveway yet. I went inside and straightened up, putting away the pizza box and whiskey bottles, evidence of my pathetic weekend. At 5:45, I heard her car pull up. I was on the couch, pretending to watch TV. She came in carrying her suitcase and looking tired but happy. Hey! She dropped the suitcase and came over to kiss me. Miss me? Always. How are your parents? Good. Mom made cookies for you. Aw, she's sweet. Elena collapsed next to me on the couch. I'm exhausted, but it was so worth it. Josephine had the best time. Good. That's good. You okay? You seem off. Just tired from the gutters. She studied me. You sure that's all? What else would it be? I don't know. You've been weird all week. She took my hand. Talk to me. I looked at our intertwined fingers. Her wedding ring caught the light. How well do you know Josephine? What? Pretty well, I guess. We were close in college. What's her last name? Elena frowned. Why? Just curious. You talk about her, but I can't place her. Morrison. Josephine Morrison. Morrison. Like Jake. Is she related to Jake? No, just a coincidence. Elena pulled her hand away. Why are you interrogating me about Josephine? I'm not interrogating. Just making conversation. It doesn't feel like conversation. It feels like you're looking for something. Maybe I am. Looking for what? I turned to face her fully. The truth. The truth about what? About where you really were this weekend. Elena's face went very still. I told you where I was. Phoenix. For Josephine's birthday. Josephine, whose birthday is in March. What? I looked her up. Facebook says her birthday is March 15th. Elena stood up. You looked up my friend on Facebook? Are you serious right now? Are you? Because I'm pretty sure you weren't in Phoenix. This is insane. You're being insane. Am I? Then show me the photos. From the party. From the drive. From anything that proves you were actually there. I don't have to prove anything to you. You're my husband, not my parole officer. You're right. You don't have to prove anything. I stood up too. But I know you were at the O Victoria Inn with Jake. The color drained from her face. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then Elena laughed, sharp and bitter. You followed me? I saw the hotel confirmation on your laptop. You went through my laptop? It was open. Hard to miss a hotel booking under your name and Jake's. Elena ran her hands through her hair. I can't believe this. You can't believe it? You're having an affair with my best friend and you can't believe I found out? I'm not having an affair. Then explain the hotel. I don't have to explain anything to someone who spies on me. Stop deflecting and just tell me the truth. The truth? Elena's voice rose. The truth is that my husband has become a paranoid, controlling a-hole who goes through my things and follows me around like some kind of stalker. Don't turn this around on me. You lied about Phoenix. You lied about Josephine's birthday. You've been lying for months. Because I knew you'd react like this. React like what? Like a man whose wife is cheating on him? I'm not cheating. We stood there, breathing hard, glaring at each other. The rain picked up outside, drumming against the windows. Then what were you doing at that hotel with Jake? I asked quietly. Elena's shoulders sagged. She sank back onto the couch and put her head in her hands. It's not what you think, she said. Then tell me what it is. She looked up, tears in her eyes. I can't. You can't? Or you won't. Both. That's not good enough, Elena. I know. She wiped her eyes. God, I know. But if I tell you, it'll ruin everything. Everything's already ruined. No, it's not. We can fix this. We can go to counseling or stop. Just stop. I sat down across from her. I followed you to the hotel. I saw you check in. I saw Jake arrive. I know you were there together. Elena went very still. You followed me. Yes. To the hotel. Yes. And you saw Jake. Yes. She closed her eyes. Then you know. I know you're having an affair. No. She opened her eyes. It's not an affair. Then what is it? She took a shaky breath. Jake's been helping me. Helping you what? Betray me? No. Helping me plan something. For you. I stared at her. What? Your birthday. Your 35th is next month. I wanted to do something special. Something big. She laughed wetly. Jake's been helping me plan a surprise party. At the hotel, we were doing a walkthrough, checking out the space, tasting menu options. My birthday's not for 6 weeks. I know. But the hotel was booked solid closer to the date. This was the only weekend they could show us everything. She pulled out her phone. Look, I have emails from the event coordinator. Invoices. Everything. She handed me her phone. There were indeed emails about event planning, menus, decoration options, a deposit invoice for a party on November 15th, my birthday. The 2 single beds? I asked. What? The room had 2 single beds. Oh, yeah. They gave us a comp room for the night since we're booking the event. Jake was supposed to bring Sophia, but she had to work. So we got a room with 2 beds. She showed me a text thread with Sophia. See? She was bummed she couldn't come. I scrolled through the messages. They seemed real. But the lingerie store? Elena blushed. That wasn't related to Jake. I was going to surprise you when I got home tonight. It's in my suitcase. The restaurant photo? You were at the hotel restaurant, not Phoenix. We took some pics to send to the girls who are helping with the party. Make it look like a real girls' night so you wouldn't suspect anything. And Jake's alibi? Being out with Sebastian? He really was out with Sebastian. After we finished at the hotel, he went to meet them. I stayed to finalize some details with the coordinator. It all sounded plausible. Too plausible. The gym photos? I asked. What about them? Jake sending you shirtless pics. You responding with heart eyes. Elena sighed. Okay, that was inappropriate. I admit it. Jake's been going through some stuff with Sophia and I think he wanted validation. I should have shut it down. What kind of stuff? She wants to get married. He's not ready. They've been fighting about it for months. She tucked her hair behind her ear. That's why he's been weird lately. The comments about me, the flirting. He's self-destructing. And you were what? Helping him through it? I was trying to be a friend. But you're right. I let it go too far. The private conversations, the texting. I should have maintained better boundaries. You think? Don't be sarcastic. I'm trying to explain. Explain why you lied to me. For months. I didn't lie for months. The party planning just started a few weeks ago. And before that, the flirting, the touches, the looks. Elena was quiet for a moment. You're right. I've been inappropriate with Jake. I like the attention. It's fun and harmless and it's not harmless. It's culling me, Elena. I know. I see that now. She moved closer. But I swear, nothing physical has happened. We've never kissed, never done anything beyond flirting. I love you. Only you. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. Show me your phone, I said. What? Your texts with Jake. Show me. She hesitated. That's private. We're married. Nothing should be private. Everyone needs some privacy. Not when they've been lying about hotels and fake birthdays. Elena pulled up her texts with Jake and handed me the phone. I scrolled through weeks of messages, lots of party planning stuff, venue options, guest lists, but also personal conversations. Jake complaining about Sophia. Elena offering advice. The tone, intimate and familiar. One exchange from last week stood out. Jake, I can't stop thinking about what you said. Elena, which part? Jake, about taking risks, being honest about what I want. Elena, and what do you want? Jake, you know what I want. Elena, Jake, I know. I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. Elena, it's okay. We all have thoughts sometimes. Jake, do you have thoughts? Elena, sometimes. Jake, about? Elena, things that can't happen. I looked up at Elena. She was biting her lip, looking miserable. This doesn't sound like party planning, I said. I know how it looks, but it's not. We were talking about his situation with Sophia, about whether he should propose or break up. Really? Because it sounds like he was talking about you. Maybe he was, but I shut it down. Did you? Because we all have thoughts sometimes, doesn't sound like shutting it down. I was trying to be understanding without encouraging him. What thoughts do you have, Elena? About things that can't happen? She met my eyes. Sometimes I think about what life would be like if we'd made different choices, if I'd been more adventurous, if I'd traveled instead of settling down. But they're just thoughts. Everyone has them. Do you think about Jake? Not the way you mean. Then what way? I think he's attractive. I think he's fun. I enjoy his attention, but I don't want to be with him. You sure about that? Yes. God, yes. He's a mess. He can't commit to Sophia. He's constantly seeking validation. She shook her head. He's not you. I'm starting to think that's the problem. What do you mean? I'm safe, stable, boring. Jake's exciting, dangerous. Everything I'm not. You're not boring. When's the last time we did anything spontaneous? When's the last time I surprised you? Elena was quiet. Exactly, I said. I'm predictable, reliable. The guy you married because he'd always be there, always be faithful, always be safe. Is that so bad? I like safe. I like knowing you'll be there. But you also like the attention from guys like Jake. The thrill of flirting with danger. Maybe. Yes. Okay. Yes. I like feeling desired. I like the excitement. But that doesn't mean I want to throw away our life together. Just spice it up a little with some harmless flirting that's not so harmless. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much it was hurting you. How could you not realize? I've told you multiple times. I thought you were being jealous, possessive. I didn't think. You didn't think I had reason to be? No, because I knew nothing would happen. I knew I'd never cross that line. You already crossed it, Elena. The moment you started hiding things from me. She started crying then. Real tears, not the pretty kind. Ugly crying that made her mascara run. I don't want to lose you, she sobbed. I love you so much. Then why wasn't I enough? You are enough. You're more than enough. I'm stupid and selfish and I liked feeling wanted by 2 men and I'm sorry. I handed her a tissue. She blew her nose loudly. What happens now? She asked. I don't know. Do you believe me? About the party? I want to, but you don't. I don't know what to believe anymore. We sat in silence. The rain had stopped, leaving everything outside wet and glistening in the porch light. I'll stop talking talking to Jake, Elena said. Outside of group settings. No more texts, no more private conversations. He's my best friend. Not anymore, he's not. Not after this. So I lose my wife and my best friend? You're not losing me. I'm right here. I'm fighting for us. Are you? Or are you just scared of being caught? Both. I'm scared of losing you and I'm ashamed of my behavior and I want to fix this. I need time to think. Okay, I'll sleep in the guest room tonight. No, this is your house too. I'll take the guest room. I stood up to go, but Elena grabbed my hand. I love you, she said. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you decide, please know that I love you. I squeezed her hand, then let go. I know. In the guest room, I lay on the unfamiliar bed and stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Jake texting. Crazy night with Sebastian. You missed out, bro. Everything cool with Elena's trip? I didn't respond. Another text. Hey, so I wanted to talk to you about something. About Elena's birthday thing. Can we grab coffee tomorrow? So he was sticking to the story. Either it was true or they'd coordinated their lies. I texted back. Can't tomorrow. Work stuff. Tuesday then? It's important. We'll see. I put the phone aside and closed my eyes, but sleep wouldn't come. Too many questions, too many doubts, too many images of Elena and Jake at that hotel, planning my party or planning their affair. The truth was, I might never know for sure what happened this weekend. I could check the hotel's event space, verify the party planning, investigate every detail. But would it matter? The trust was already broken. The foundation of our marriage cracked and unstable. Elena had admitted to inappropriate behavior, to enjoying Jake's attention, to having thoughts about things that couldn't happen. Even if nothing physical had occurred, the emotional betrayal was real. And Jake, my best friend since childhood. Either he was helping plan an elaborate surprise party while simultaneously trying to seduce my wife, or he was actively participating in an affair and using the party as cover. Neither option made me feel better. I thought about my father's words, about drifting and pulling people back. But how far was too far? How much could a marriage bend before it broke? Outside, it started raining again. I listened to it drum against the window and wondered if Elena was lying awake too, in our bed, thinking about the mess we'd made of everything. Tomorrow, I'd have to make decisions. Confront Jake, verify Elena's story, figure out if our marriage was worth saving. But tonight, I just lay there in the dark, mourning the loss of the life I thought I had, the wife I thought I knew, the friend I thought I could trust. The rain continued through the night, washing away everything but the truth that some betrayals, emotional or physical, leave scars that never fully heal. Monday morning came with the alarm piercing through my fitful sleep. I'd spent the night in the guest room, tossing and turning on the unfamiliar mattress. Through the thin walls, I heard Elena moving around our bedroom, getting ready for work. I waited until I heard her car leave before emerging. The house felt different somehow. Same furniture, same photos on the walls, but everything seemed off-kilter. I made coffee and sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone. Jake had texted again. Really need to talk about the party stuff. Can you do lunch? Party stuff. I deleted the message without responding. I called in sick again. My boss's concern was more pronounced this time. I promised I'd see a doctor and hung up. Then I got dressed and drove to the O Victoria Inn. The lobby looked different in the harsh morning light. Less romantic, more corporate. I approached the front desk where a different clerk stood. I'm interested in booking your event space for a birthday party, I said. November 15th? She typed into her computer. I'm sorry, but that date is already booked. We have a private event scheduled. Oh, really? What kind of event? I can't share details about other bookings, sir, but I can show you alternative dates if you'd like. That's okay. Thanks. I walked to the restaurant, the Victoria Room. The burgundy wallpaper and Art Deco fixtures were exactly as they'd appeared in Elena's Instagram photo. A hostess approached. Just one for breakfast? Actually, I was wondering if you had any private dining areas for events. We do. We have a lovely space that holds up to 50 people. Were you thinking of booking something? Maybe. A friend mentioned she'd been here recently checking it out. Elena Stewart? The hostess's face lit up. Oh yes, Ms. Stewart was here Friday with the gentleman planning the surprise party. Such a sweet idea. You must be the birthday boy. My chest tightened. That's me. Well, I won't spoil anything, but your wife has excellent taste. The menu she selected is fantastic. I thanked her and left, my mind reeling. The party was real. Or at least, the planning was real. Whether that's all that happened this weekend remained to be seen. I drove to Jake's gym. His truck was in the lot. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, working up the nerve to go inside. Finally, I walked through the doors. Jake was at the squat rack, mid-set. I watched him finish, then approached as he racked the weight. Dalen! He grabbed a towel and wiped his face. What are you doing here? Thought you were sick. We need to talk. His expression shifted. Yeah, about that. The party planning's been, not here, outside. He followed me to the parking lot, still in his gym clothes. We stood between our vehicles, the October air cool against our skin. So, Jake said, Elena told you? She told me something. Whether it's the truth is another question. Jake's face darkened. What's that supposed to mean? It means I know about the hotel, the room you shared, the lies about Phoenix. We didn't share a room. We had separate beds, and the Phoenix thing was just cover for your surprise. Right, the surprise party that required an overnight stay. The hotel comped us a room since we're booking the event. It would have been stupid not to take it. And Sophia couldn't make it. She had to work. You can ask her yourself. Maybe I will. Jake set his jaw. You know what? I'm getting really sick of this jealous husband routine. I've been nothing but respectful. Respectful? Sending my wife shirtless pics is respectful? She asked how my training was going. I sent progress photos. That's what friends do. Friends don't respond with heart eyes emojis. That's on Elena, not me. And the private conversations? The touching? The constant comments about how hot she is? Jake ran his hand through his hair. Okay, look, I'll admit I've been not great lately. Sophia and I are having problems, and maybe I've been seeking validation in the wrong places, but nothing happened with Elena. Nothing. Define nothing. No kissing. No touching beyond friendly stuff. No intimacy. Nothing. What about emotional stuff? Jake looked away. That's complicated. No, it's not. Either you have feelings for my wife or you don't. Fine. Yes, I have feelings. I've always had feelings. You happy now? The admission hit like a physical blow. How long? Since college. Since before you two even met. He laughed bitterly. I introduced you at that party, remember? I was planning to ask her out that night. Then you two hit it off and that was that. So you've been what? Waiting 15 years for your chance? No, I moved on. I dated other people. I'm with Sophia now. But sometimes, he shrugged, sometimes I wonder what if. And this weekend? Was that your what if? This weekend was about planning your birthday party. That's it. He met my eyes. I swear on our friendship, nothing physical happened. Our friendship? The one where you've been trying to seduce my wife? I haven't been trying to seduce anyone. Have I flirted? Yes. Have I crossed lines? Probably. But I would never actually do anything. Why should I believe you? Because I'm telling you the truth. Because despite everything, you're still my best friend. His voice cracked. Because I hate myself for feeling this way about Elena, but I can't help it. We stood in silence. Cars pulled in and out of the lot. Normal people living normal lives. I can't be around you anymore, I said finally. Jake nodded. I figured. And you need to stay away from Elena. Already planned on it. Sophia gave me an ultimatum this weekend. Her or my friendship with Elena. He smiled sadly. I chose Sophia. Good. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to get this far. Neither did I. I turned to leave, but Jake called after me. The party's still happening. Everything's paid for. Would be a shame to waste it. I didn't respond. I got in my car and drove away, watching Jake shrink in the rearview mirror. 20 years of friendship, reduced to an awkward conversation in a gym parking lot. I drove home and found Elena's car in the driveway. She was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop, apparently working from home. You're here, she said, looking up as I entered. So are you. I couldn't concentrate at the office. Figured I'd be useless there anyway. She closed the laptop. Did you go somewhere? The hotel. Jake's gym. Her face paled. And? The party's real. The event space is booked. The hostess remembered you. I told you. I also talked to Jake. He admitted to having feelings for you. Since college, apparently. Elena's mouth opened, then closed. I didn't know that. Really? The constant flirting and comments didn't clue you in? I thought he was just being Jake. You know how he is. Do I? Because the Jake I knew wouldn't try to steal his best friend's wife. He wasn't trying to steal me. Nothing happened. He said the same thing. Swore on our friendship. For whatever that's worth now. Elena stood and moved toward me. I stepped back. Don't, I said. We need to talk about this. Really talk. Fine, talk. She sat back down. I know I hurt you. I know I crossed boundaries and betrayed your trust. But I need you to believe that nothing physical happened with Jake. Let's say I believe you. Let's say it was all just party planning and inappropriate flirting. Does that make it okay? No, of course not. I'm just trying to what? Minimize what you did? Make it seem less bad because you didn't actually sleep with him? I'm trying to save our marriage. Maybe you should have thought of that before you spent months flirting with my best friend. Elena's eyes filled with tears. You're right. You're absolutely right. I effed up. I let my need for attention override my respect for you and our marriage. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Then what will? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't know. I honestly don't know if this is fixable. She wiped her eyes. Can we try? Counseling? Therapy ? Something? Maybe. I need time to think. Okay, I'll give you space. I'll stay at Mac Victoria's tonight if you want. No. I'll figure something out. I left her crying at the table and went to pack a bag. I couldn't stay in this house another night. Too many memories, too many lies. I checked into a motel near the highway. Nothing fancy, just a bed and a TV and a door that locked. I lay on the scratchy comforter and stared at the water-stained ceiling. My phone buzzed. Elena, I love you. Please don't give up on us. I didn't respond. Another text from my mother. Haven't heard from you since Sunday. Everything okay? I typed back, fine, just busy with work. A lie. Another lie to add to all the others. Tuesday passed in a blur. I went to work, pushed papers around my desk, attended meetings without really listening. My coworkers noticed something was off, but didn't pry. Small mercies. That evening, I drove past my house. Elena's car was there, lights on in the living room. I could see her silhouette through the curtains, moving around like everything was normal. I kept driving. Wednesday, Jake tried calling. I let it go to voicemail. Hey man, I know you don't want to talk to me, but I wanted you to know I told Sophia everything. We're going to couples counseling. I'm going to start seeing someone individually, deal with my poop properly. Anyway, I'm sorry for everything. I deleted the message. Thursday, I finally went home to get more clothes. Elena was at work. The house smelled like her perfume and coffee. There was a note on the kitchen table. I'm staying at Mac Victoria's until you're ready to talk. I love you. I'll wait as long as it takes. E. I packed another bag and left. Friday came with a decision. I couldn't keep living in a motel, avoiding my life. I called Elena. Can we meet? I asked when she answered. Yes. Where? When? The house. Tonight. 7. I'll be there. I spent the day preparing what I wanted to say, writing it down, crossing it out, starting over. By evening, I still wasn't ready, but I went anyway. Elena was already there when I arrived. She looked tired, worn down. Good. At least I wasn't the only one suffering. We sat across from each other in the living room, the coffee table between us like a barrier. I've been thinking, I started. Me too. I've actually made some decisions, if you want to hear them. I nodded. I blocked Jake on everything. Phone, social media, email. I also told Sophia what happened. She deserved to know. How'd that go? Not well, but it was the right thing to do. She took a breath. I also made an appointment with a therapist, for myself, to figure out why I need external validation so badly. That's good. And I want us to go to couples counseling, if you're willing. I studied her face. She looked sincere, desperate, but sincere. I have conditions, I said. Anything. Full transparency. I get all your passwords. Phone, email, social media, everything. Done. No more private conversations with male friends. Group settings only. Agreed. And we sell this house. Elena blinked. What? Too many memories. Too many lies. If we're going to try to make this work, we need a fresh start. She nodded slowly. Okay, if that's what you need. It is. Then we'll sell. We sat in silence for a moment. So does this mean? Elena started. It means I'm willing to try, but I can't promise anything. Trust. Once broken. I shrugged. I know, but I'll do whatever it takes to earn it back. We'll see. I stood to leave. Wait, Elena said. Your birthday party. It's all planned. Deposits paid. People invited. Cancel it. But I don't want a party. I don't want to celebrate in the place where you and Jake. I stopped. Just cancel it. Okay, I'll handle it. I moved toward the door, then turned back. For what it's worth, I want this to work. I'm just not sure it can. It can. I'll prove it to you. I nodded and left. Back at the motel, I lay on the bed and thought about the future. Counseling, rebuilding, learning to trust again. It seemed impossible, but then again, so did Elena and Jake's betrayal a week ago. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Sophia. Jake told me everything. I'm sorry this happened. If you ever need to talk to someone who understands, I'm here. I saved her number but didn't respond. Maybe someday I'd take her up on it. Maybe we'd form some weird club for people betrayed by Jake and Elena's emotional affair. Saturday morning, I checked out of the motel and went home. Elena had cleared out more of her things, giving me space. I walked through the rooms, seeing our life together differently now. The couch where she'd laughed at Jake's flirting. The kitchen where she'd lied about Phoenix. The bedroom where she'd changed her phone passcode. But also, the dining room where we'd hosted countless dinners. The backyard where we'd planted that garden. The spare room we'd talked about turning into a nursery someday. Good memories and bad, all tangled together. I made coffee and sat at the kitchen table. My laptop was there, still open to apartment listings I'd been browsing. But instead of continuing that search, I closed it and picked up my phone. I scrolled to Elena's contact and typed, "Couples counseling. You set it up. I'll go." Her response was immediate. "Thank you. I'll find someone today. I love you." I stared at those 3 words. Once they'd been everything. Now they felt hollow. But maybe, with time and work, they could mean something again. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find a delivery guy holding a box. "Dalen Morrison? That's me. Sign here." I signed and took the box inside. No return address. I opened it carefully, half expecting some grand gesture from Elena. Instead, I found a bottle of whiskey and a note in Jake's handwriting. "For your birthday. Ordered this months ago before everything went to poop. Figured you should have it anyway. Jay." I stared at the bottle. Expensive stuff. The kind we'd talked about trying someday when we had something worth celebrating. I put it on the shelf, unopened. Maybe someday I'd drink it. Maybe I'd pour it down the drain. Maybe I'd save it for, I didn't know what. My phone rang. "Elena, I found someone," she said. "Dr. Patricia Reeves. She specializes in betrayal trauma. She has an opening Tuesday at 4. Book it." "Already did." She paused. "Are you at the house?" "Yeah." "Can I come home? Just to get some things? I'll be quick. It's your house too. You don't need permission." "I know, but I want to respect your space. Come get what you need." 20 minutes later, she walked through the door. We moved around each other carefully, like strangers. She gathered clothes and toiletries while I pretended to read. "Jake sent birthday whiskey," I said suddenly. She froze. "Oh, ordered it months ago apparently. That was thoughtful, I guess." She finished packing and headed for the door, then stopped. "I know you don't want to hear this right now, but I really do love you. I've loved you since that stupid party in college. I got lost somewhere along the way. We both did." She nodded and left. I watched her drive away, then went back to my book. But I couldn't focus. My mind kept drifting to Tuesday at 4. Dr. Patricia Reeves. Betrayal trauma. The beginning of fixing us, or the beginning of the end. Only time would tell. Sunday was my actual birthday. 35 years old. I woke to texts from family and friends. Nothing from Jake, obviously. A simple, "Happy birthday. Thinking of you today," from Elena. I spent the morning at my parents' house. My mother had made my favorite breakfast and pretended not to notice I came alone. My father gave me a new socket set and a knowing look. "Thanks, Dad. You'll get through this," he said quietly. "Whatever it is." After lunch, I drove to the park where Jake and I used to play basketball. The courts were full of kids, laughing and trash-talking like we used to. I sat on the bleachers and watched, remembering simpler times. My phone buzzed. "Sophia, happy birthday. This probably sucks, but it will get better." I typed back. "Thanks. How are you doing?" "Surviving. Jake moved out yesterday. I'm sorry." "Don't be. It was overdue. We were both holding on to something that died a long time ago." "Still." "Yeah, still." I put the phone away and headed home. There was a cake on my doorstep with a note. "Mac Victoria made this. I didn't want your birthday to pass without something sweet. E." I brought it inside and cut myself a piece. Chocolate with vanilla frosting. My favorite. I ate it alone at the kitchen table, thinking about the party that should have been happening. The surprise Elena and Jake had planned. The life I thought I'd be living at 35. Instead, I was alone in a house full of ghosts, eating birthday cake and wondering if my marriage could be saved. My phone rang. An unknown number. Hello? Is this Dalen Morrison? Yes, this is Dr. Patricia Reeves. I'm calling to confirm your appointment Tuesday at 4? Yes, we'll be there. Good. I've emailed you both some forms to fill out. Please complete them before our session. We will. And Mr. Morrison, I want you to know that seeking help is a brave first step. Many couples come back from situations like yours. Many, but not all. No, not all. But those who are willing to do the work have a fighting chance. After she hung up, I opened my email and looked at the forms. Questions about our relationship history, our communication patterns, the betrayal itself. I started filling them out, then stopped. Tomorrow, I deal with it tomorrow. Tonight, on my 35th birthday, I just wanted to exist without thinking about betrayal and trust and the work required to rebuild a marriage. I poured myself a drink, not Jake's whiskey, just regular bourbon, and sat on the back porch. The October air was crisp, leaves falling from the trees we'd planted together. At midnight, my phone buzzed one last time. Elena, I know today was hard. Thank you for agreeing to try. I won't let you down again. I didn't respond. Words were easy. Actions would tell the truth. Monday morning came with new purpose. I called a realtor about listing the house, made appointments to view apartments, started the practical work of either rebuilding or dismantling my life. At lunch, I met with a lawyer, just to understand my options. She was kind but practical, laying out how assets would be divided, what custody would look like if we had kids. I left with her card and a sick feeling in my stomach. That evening, I filled out Dr. Reeves's forms. Each question forced me to examine our relationship. When did the problem start? Had there been signs I'd missed? What did I need to move forward? I wrote honestly, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. Tuesday at 3:30, I sat in my car outside Dr. Reeves's office, a nondescript building in a strip mall. Elena's car was already there. I could still leave, drive away and file for divorce, start fresh somewhere new. Instead, I got out and walked inside. Elena sat in the waiting room, clutching her purse like a lifeline. She looked up as I entered, hope and fear warring on her face. You came, she said. I said I would. I know, but I wasn't sure. Neither was I. A door opened and a woman emerged. Mid-50s, kind eyes, no-nonsense demeanor. Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, I'm Dr. Reeves. Come on in. We followed her into a small office. 2 chairs faced a third across a coffee table. Elena and I sat carefully, leaving space between us. So, Dr. Reeves said, settling into her chair, tell me why you're here. Elena looked at me. I looked at her. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I cleared my throat. My wife had an emotional affair with my best friend. We're here to see if our marriage can be saved. Dr. Reeves nodded and picked up her notepad. Let's start there. For the next 50 minutes we talked. About Jake, about the hotel, about the lies and the flirting and the broken trust. Elena cried. I didn't. Dr. Reeves took notes and asked pointed questions. When our time was up, she set down her pen. I'll be honest with you both. You have significant work ahead. Trust, once broken, takes time and consistent effort to rebuild. But I see 2 people who still love each other sitting here. That's a foundation we can build on. She scheduled us for the following week and gave us homework, communication exercises, transparency agreements, small steps towards something bigger. We walked out together but drove separately. At home, I found Elena had left groceries in the fridge and a note. In case you forgot to shop, T's number is on the counter if you need anything. T was Mac Victoria. Even she was keeping distance from me now. I made dinner and ate alone, thinking about the session, about Dr. Reeves's cautious optimism, about the work ahead. My phone buzzed. Not Elena this time. My mother. Just checking in. Haven't heard much from you lately. I called her back. Hey mom. Oh good. You're alive. I was starting to worry. I'm fine. Just dealing with some stuff. Elena stuff? Mothers always know. Yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Not really. Okay. But I'm here if you change your mind. Thanks mom. Oh, before I forget, your father wants to know if you can help with the garage next weekend. He's finally cleaning it out. Normal life, continuing despite everything. Sure, I'll be there. Good. And honey, whatever's happening, you'll figure it out. You always do. After we hung up, I sat in the quiet house and thought about that. Did I always figure it out? Or did I just avoid conflict until it exploded in my face? Questions for next week's therapy, I supposed. Wednesday through Friday passed in a routine. Work, home, sleep. Elena texted daily updates about her individual therapy, the house listing, her days. I responded briefly, cordially. We were like business partners now, managing the dissolution or reconstruction of our shared life. Saturday, I helped my father clean the garage. We worked in companionable silence, sorting through decades of accumulated stuff. Old toys, holiday decorations, boxes of photos. Your mother wants to downsize, he said, apropos of nothing. Move somewhere smaller. Really? We don't need all this space anymore. Plus, the maintenance is getting to be too much. How do you feel about that? He shrugged. Change is hard, but sometimes necessary. I wondered if he was still talking about the house. That evening, I met Sophia for coffee. She texted asking if I wanted to compare notes on our mutual betrayers. I'd agreed out of curiosity more than anything. She looked tired, but determined. So, how are you holding up? Day by day. You? Same. It's weird, right? I knew something was off with Jake for months. The way he'd light up when Elena texted. The private jokes. I just convinced myself I was being paranoid. Yeah, I know the feeling. Are you and Elena trying to work it out? We're in counseling. taking it slow. That's brave of you. I couldn't do it. Once the trust is gone, she shrugged. Maybe you're the brave one, making a clean break. Or maybe we're both just doing what we need to survive. We talked for an hour. About the signs we'd missed, the lies we'd believed, the future we were rebuilding. It was oddly comforting, talking to someone who understood. As we prepared to leave, Sophia said, Jake asked me to give you a message. I told him no, but he wanted you to know he's respecting your boundaries, staying away from Elena, getting help. Good for him. You don't care? I care. I'm just not ready to forgive. Fair enough. We parted with a promise to check in occasionally. Support group of 2. Sunday was quiet. I viewed apartments in the morning, trying to imagine starting over in a new space. None of them felt right. Too small, too big, too far from work, too close to memories. The realtor was patient. Take your time. This is a big decision. That afternoon, Elena and I had our second counseling session. We talked about patterns, how her need for attention stemmed from childhood, how my conflict avoidance enabled the situation. Dr. Reeves guided us through difficult conversations with practiced ease. I want to assign you both a task this week, she said as our time ended. Spend 1 hour together. No phones, no distractions. Just talk about anything except the affair. Elena looked at me hopefully. We could have dinner? Okay. Thursday? Thursday. Small steps. The week passed quickly. Work was busy, which helped. I could lose myself in spreadsheets and meetings, pretend my life wasn't in limbo. Thursday evening, Elena came to the house. She'd cooked pasta with that sauce I liked. We ate at the dining room table like strangers on a first date. How's work? She asked. Busy. Year-end projections are due soon. Right. I forgot about those. Silence. I saw they're building new condos downtown, she offered. Yeah, everything's luxury now. Remember our first apartment? That terrible place on Maple? The one with the leaky ceiling? And the neighbor who played drums at 3 a.m. God, what was his name? Sebastian? No, wait, Sergio. We both laughed. For a moment it felt normal. Then reality crept back in. I miss this, Elena said quietly. Just talking to you. Yeah. Do you think we'll ever get back to normal? I don't know. Maybe normal wasn't working anyway. What do you mean? We were comfortable, complacent. Maybe that's why. Why I sought attention elsewhere. Why we both checked out. She nodded slowly. You're right. I was bored. Not with you. Just with life. With myself. Jake made me feel exciting again. And I let it happen because confrontation was harder than denial. So what do? Build something new, I guess, if we can. The hour passed quickly. When Elena left, she hugged me briefly at the door. First physical contact in weeks. It felt strange but not unwelcome. Friday brought news. The house had an offer. Above asking price. Cash buyer. They want a quick close, the realtor said. 30 days. 30 days to decide where my life was going. I told Elena that evening. She cried. I know we agreed, but that's our home. No, it's a house. Home is what we make next. If we make it. Yeah, if. That weekend, I started packing, boxing up years of memories. Wedding photos went in one box, Jake's best man speech in another. The life we'd built, reduced to cardboard and tape. Elena came to help on Sunday. We worked in different rooms, occasionally meeting in the hallway with full boxes. Found your college sweatshirt, she said, holding up the ratty thing. I wondered where that went. I used to sleep in it when you traveled for work. Keep it. Really? If you want. She clutched it to her chest and returned to packing. By evening, the house was half empty. We sat on the floor eating takeout, surrounded by boxes. Where will you go? Elena asked, still figuring that out. You? Mac Victoria has a spare room, just until we know. Yeah. Monday's therapy session was about rebuilding intimacy, not physical, emotional. Dr. Reeves had us do an exercise where we shared one thing we appreciated about the other. I appreciate that you're trying, I told Elena, even though I've given you every reason to give up. I appreciate your honesty, she replied, even when it hurts. Baby steps. Tuesday, Jake's mother called. I almost didn't answer. Dalen, honey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but Jake won't return my calls and I'm worried. He's going through something, Mrs. Morrison. I gathered that. Sophia told me they separated and that you and he had a falling out, something like that. I won't pry, but you boys have been friends since you were 7. Whatever happened, I hope you can work it out. Maybe someday. Well, if you talk to him, tell him his mother loves him. I will, but I didn't call Jake. Wasn't ready, might never be. Wednesday, I signed a lease, a 2-bedroom apartment across town. Month to month, the landlord agreed, given my situation. Elena helped me move that weekend. We carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs, sweating in the October sun. It's nice, she said, looking around the empty living room. It'll do for now. I like the light. Yeah. She helped me unpack the kitchen, finding homes for dishes and pans. Domestic but distant. When we finished, she stood by the door, uncertain. Thanks for helping, I said. Of course. I should go. Elena, she turned. Thursday dinner? My turn to cook? Her smile was worth the effort. I'd like that. Weeks turned into a month. Therapy every Tuesday. Dinner every Thursday. Slow progress punctuated by setbacks. Some days I believed we'd make it. Others, I wondered why we were trying. The house sold. We split the proceeds and belongings with minimal drama. I kept the whiskey Jake had sent, still unopened. Elena kept our wedding album, reminders of what was and what might be. One Tuesday, Dr. Reeves asked the hard question, what would reconciliation look like to you? I thought for a long moment, not going back, moving forward, building something stronger than what we had. Elena, a second chance, to be the wife he deserves, the person I want to be. Those are compatible goals. The question is whether you're both willing to do the work. I am, Elena said immediately. I hesitated. I want to be. That's honest. Wanting to be willing is a start. That Thursday, over dinner, Elena brought up Jake. Sophia says he's doing better. Therapy twice a week. AA meetings. AA? Apparently the drinking was worse than we knew. Huh. She also said he asks about you, whether you're okay. What does she tell him? That you're surviving. That you need time. Good answer. Do you think you'll ever forgive him? I pushed food around my plate. I don't know. Maybe forgiveness isn't the goal. Maybe it's just acceptance. That it happened. That we all made choices. That we live with consequences. That sounds lonely. Yeah, it does. November arrived with colder weather and harder questions. In therapy, we'd progressed from crisis management to actual relationship work. It was messier than the acute phase, less dramatic, but more difficult. I want to move back in, Elena said during one session. My stomach clenched. I'm not ready for that. When will you be? I don't know, Dr. Reeves intervened. Let's explore what needs to happen for you to feel ready, Dalen. I need to trust her again. Really trust, not just hope. And what would build that trust? Time, consistency. I need to see that the changes are real, not just crisis responses. Fair enough. Elena, how does that sit with you? It's hard, but I understand. I broke something fundamental. It takes time to heal. Would you be open to graduated steps? Perhaps Elena stays over one night a week? I considered it. Maybe. We could try. That Saturday, Elena brought an overnight bag. We watched a movie, made dinner, pretended things were normal. When bedtime came, I offered her the couch. Of course, she said, hiding disappointment. But progress was progress. Sunday morning, I woke to the smell of coffee and bacon. Elena was in the kitchen, humming that pop song from months ago. For a moment, I stood in the doorway watching her, my wife, the woman who'd betrayed me, the woman fighting to make amends. Morning, she said, noticing me. Hungry? Yeah. We ate breakfast together, reading the news on our phones. Comfortable silence. When she left, she kissed my cheek. Same time next week? Okay. By December, we'd settled into a rhythm. Therapy, dinners, weekend sleepovers, slowly rebuilding what was broken. Some nights Elena stayed in the guest room. Others, we shared the bed, carefully maintaining space between us. One Thursday, she brought photo albums. I was going through old pictures. Look at this. A photo from college. Jake, Elena, and me at some party. All of us young and oblivious to what was coming. He looks so young, I said. We all do. God, my hair. I liked your hair like that. Liar. We flipped through pages, birthdays, trips, random Tuesday nights, a life documented in snapshots. Do you ever wonder if the signs were always there? Elena asked. What do you mean? Look. She pointed to a photo from our wedding, Jake's hand on her waist during a group photo. He's holding me a little too close, don't you think? Maybe. Or maybe we're seeing what we expect to see now. I hate that this tainted everything. All these memories feel different now. Yeah. Will that ever change? I don't know. Maybe we make new memories, better ones. I'd like that. The week before Christmas, Jake texted. First contact in months. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I wanted you to know I'm 6 months sober, working on myself. I'm sorry for everything. I miss my friend. I stared at the message for an hour before responding. Congratulations on 6 months. Keep working. Thank you. Merry Christmas, D. I didn't respond to that. Elena and I spent Christmas Eve together, not quite ready for family gatherings. We made dinner and exchanged small gifts. She gave me a new coffee maker. I gave her a scarf. I love it, she said, wrapping it around her neck. It matches your eyes. You noticed. I notice everything. Just don't always say it. Maybe that's something we both need to work on. Saying things. Yeah, maybe. We kissed at midnight. Brief, tentative. First real kiss since everything fell apart. I love you, she whispered. I know. Can you say it back? I'm trying to. Give me time. All the time you need. New Year's Eve, we made resolutions. Not the usual lose weight, save money type. Real ones. I resolved to be present, Elena said. To find validation internally, not from others. I resolved to speak up, to stop avoiding difficult conversations. I resolved to earn your trust every single day. I resolved to let you try. We toasted with champagne, watching fireworks on TV. When the ball dropped, we kissed again. Longer this time. When we pulled apart, Elena was crying. Happy tears, she assured me. We made it through the year. We're still here. Yeah, we are. January brought a decision. The month-to-month lease was up. Renew or move on. What do you want? Dr. Reeves asked during our session. I want to come home, Elena said, but only if Dalen's ready. All eyes on me. I started, then stopped. Started again. I think I want to try. Really try. Not just dinners and sleepovers. Actually rebuilding our life. You're sure? Elena asked. No, but I'm sure I want to find out. That's enough for now, Dr. Reeves said. Uncertainty is okay. It's honest. We spent the next week planning. Elena would move into my apartment first. Neutral ground. We'd look for a new place together eventually. Fresh start. New memories. Moving day was surreal. Boxes going up the same stairs they'd gone down months ago. But different boxes. Different us. That night, in what was now our apartment, we sat on the couch watching TV. Elena curled against my side, my arm around her. Almost normal. Almost. Thank you, she said during a commercial. For what? For giving us another chance. For doing the work. For not giving up when anyone else would have. We're not out of the woods yet. I know, but we're walking in the right direction. Together. February marked a year since Jake first called Elena incredibly tempting. A year of slow dissolution and careful reconstruction. We marked it quietly, acknowledging how far we'd come. I ran into Jake yesterday, Elena told me over dinner. My fork paused midway to my mouth. Oh? At the grocery store. First time since, everything. How was it? Awkward. He looks good though. Healthy. Sober. Did you talk? Just briefly. He asked about you. I told him you were doing well. That's all? He said he hopes someday you can forgive him, that he misses his best friend. What did you say? That forgiveness takes time, that he needs to focus on himself right now. Good answer. Do you think you'll ever talk to him again? I don't know. Maybe. Someday. When it doesn't hurt to think about. And me? Have you forgiven me? I looked at my wife. Really looked at her. The woman who'd broken my trust. Who'd spent months earning it back. Who'd dismantled her life to rebuild ours. I'm getting there, I said honestly. Most days, yes. Some days, it's harder. That's fair. More than fair. I love you, I said. The words came easier now. Not automatic yet, but not forced either. I love you too. So much. March came with unexpected news. Sophia was engaged. Not to Jake. To someone new. She invited us to the wedding. That's fast, Elena said, reading the invitation. People heal at different speeds. Would you want to go? Would you? I asked first. I think. Yes. To support Sophia. She was there for me when I needed it. Then we'll go. The wedding was in May. Small. Intimate. Sophia looked radiant. Her new husband seemed kind. Attentive. Everything Jake hadn't been at the end. During the reception, I saw him. Jake. Sitting alone at a corner table, nursing a club soda. Our eyes met across the room. He raised his glass slightly. A greeting. An acknowledgement. I nodded back. You okay? Elena asked, following my gaze. Yeah, just processing. Do you want to leave? No, we're okay. Later, in the bathroom, Jake and I found ourselves at adjacent sinks. Hey, he said. Hey, you look good. Happy. Getting there. You? One day at a time. He dried his hands. Elena looks good too. You guys worked it out? We're working on it. Good. That's good. Silence. I'm sorry, he said finally. For everything. For betraying your trust. For crossing lines. For being a shitty friend. I know. Is there any chance we could grab coffee sometime? Just talk? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Not yet. Maybe someday. But not yet. I understand. I'll wait. However long it takes. He left. I stood there, staring at my reflection. The man in the mirror looked older, worn, but not broken, healing. Back at our table, Elena took my hand. You okay? Yeah, I actually am. June brought our 5-year anniversary. We debated acknowledging it, given everything. But Dr. Reeves encouraged us to reclaim our milestones. We went to dinner at the Italian place I'd suggested that night so long ago, when Elena had lied about a meeting, when I'd known, but hadn't wanted to know. Different times, she said, reading my thoughts. Yeah. Do you regret staying? Fighting for us? No. Do you regret what happened? Every day. But also, I don't know. It forced us to confront things, to grow, to choose each other actively instead of coasting. Silver lining to betrayal? Not silver. Maybe bronze. Tarnished bronze. I'll take it. We toasted to 5 years, to survival, to whatever came next. July was hot and busy. Work picked up for both of us. We fell into routines. Therapy every other week now. Date nights on Fridays. Lazy Sunday mornings. Normal life. Hard won. One evening, sorting mail, I found an envelope addressed to both of us. Jake's handwriting. Should we open it? Elena asked. Together. Inside was a single photo. That college party where we'd all met. 3 kids with no idea what was coming. A note on the back. For what it's worth, I'm grateful for the good times. Jay. He's trying, Elena said. Yeah. Does it help? I don't know. Maybe. Ask me in another year. We kept the photo. Put it in a drawer with other complicated memories. Not displayed, but not discarded. Like the friendship itself. Not active, but not entirely dead. August brought a decision. Our lease was up again. I found a house, Elena said one evening, showing me the listing. 3 bedrooms. Nice yard. Good neighborhood. You want to buy a house? Together? I want to build a future. Together. If you're ready. I looked at the photos. It was nice. Nothing special but solid. Room to grow. Let's go see it. We toured it that weekend. Elena was right. It was perfect. Not too big, not too small. A fresh start. What do you think? She asked as we stood in what would be our bedroom. I think, yes, let's do it. She kissed me then, full of promise and gratitude and love. We closed in September, spent weekends painting and decorating, making it ours. Elena hung curtains while I assembled furniture, domestic life, rebuilt from scratch. I want to have a housewarming party, she said one evening. Okay, can I invite Jake? The question hung between us. I don't think I'm ready for that, I said finally. Okay, maybe next year, maybe. October came with reflection. A year since that hotel weekend, since everything fell apart and slowly, painfully, began coming back together. How are you feeling about everything? Dr. Reeves asked during our monthly check-in. Grateful, I said. Tired. Hopeful. Elena? All of that. Plus proud. Of us. Of the work we've done. You should be proud. Both of you. This hasn't been easy. Worth it though, Elena said, taking my hand. Yeah, I agreed. Worth it. November brought my 36th birthday. Elena planned a small party. Just family and close friends. No surprises. No hotels. Just dinner at our new house. Make a wish, she said as I blew out the candles. I closed my eyes. Wished for continued healing. For trust fully restored. For the strength to forgive completely. Elena and Jake and myself. What did you wish for? She asked later as we cleaned up. Can't tell you. Won't come true. Fair enough. That night, in our bed in our house, Elena traced patterns on my chest. I love you, she said. Thank you for not giving up on us. Thank you for proving I didn't have to. December came quietly. We decorated for Christmas, hosting Elena's family for the first time since everything happened. Her mother pulled me aside. I don't know what happened last year, she said, but I'm glad you worked it out. Elena's like herself again. Happy. We both are. Good. That's all that matters. On Christmas Eve, we exchanged gifts. Elena gave me a watch, engraved on the back, for all our times ahead. I gave her a necklace. Simple, elegant, new. It's beautiful, she said, tears in her eyes. You're beautiful, even after everything? Especially after everything. New Year's Eve we stayed in, cooked dinner, danced in the kitchen, watched the ball drop from our couch. Resolutions? I asked as midnight approached. To keep choosing us, every day, to keep talking, even when it's hard, to love you better than I did before, to let you. We kissed at midnight. No hesitation now, no uncertainty, just us. Happy New Year, Dallin. Happy New Year, Elena. January 2nd, my phone rang. Jake. Hey, I said, answering without thinking. Hey, I didn't think you'd pick up. Neither did I. How are you? Good. You? 18 months sober. Got a promotion. Doing okay. That's great, Jake. Really. Thanks. Look, I know this is probably too much to ask, but would you be willing to meet? Just coffee. Just to talk. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Okay. Really? Yeah, but just coffee. Just talk. Of course. Thank you. When? Saturday. That place on 5th. I'll be there. Saturday came fast. I told Elena where I was going. Are you sure? She asked. No, but I think I need to. For closure, if nothing else. Do you want me to come? No, this is between Jake and me. Okay, I love you. Love you too. The coffee shop was crowded. Jake was already there in a corner booth. He looked good, healthy, sober. Thanks for coming, he said as I sat down. Yeah, we ordered coffee. Sat in awkward silence. I don't know where to start, he admitted. How about with why? Why did you pursue my wife? He winced. Straight to it. Okay, I've been in love with Elena since college. You know that now. When you two got together, I buried it, moved on, or thought I did. But I never really dealt with it. Just pushed it down, drank it away. And when things with Sophia started falling apart, all those feelings came back, mixed with resentment and self-pity, and I'm not making excuses, just explaining. And Elena? She never encouraged it, not really. She's warm, friendly. I convinced myself it meant more than it did. The hotel was exactly what she said. Party planning. I pushed for the overnight stay, told myself it was practical. But really, I was hoping something might happen. It didn't. She spent the whole time talking about you, how excited she was to surprise you. Why should I believe you? Because I have nothing left to lose, and because lying got me here, alone, starting over, missing my best friend. We drank our coffee in silence. I'm sorry, Jake said finally, for all of it, for betraying your trust, for disrespecting your marriage, for being a terrible friend. I know. Can you forgive me? I'm trying. It's a process. I understand. I'm just grateful you're willing to try. Elena and I are good now. Better than before, actually. But it was hell getting here. I'm glad you made it. You deserve happiness. Both of you. What about you? Anyone new? No. Working on myself first. Therapy, AA, the works. Learning to be alone. That's good, Jake. Really. We finished our coffee. Stood to leave. Can we do this again? Jake asked. Not often. Just occasionally? Maybe. Let me think about it. That's more than I deserve. Thank you. We shook hands. Not quite friends, but no longer enemies. At home, Elena was waiting. How was it? Hard, but good, I think. Do you feel better? Lighter, maybe. Like a weight I didn't know I was carrying is gone. That's good. That's really good. He asked if we could meet occasionally. Coffee? Nothing more. What did you say? That I'd think about it. And will you? Yeah, I think. I think maybe forgiveness isn't a destination. It's a journey. And maybe Jake and I need to walk part of it together. That's very mature of you. We'll see. Baby steps. Baby steps. That night, I pulled out the whiskey Jake had sent for my birthday, still unopened after all this time. Want some? I asked Elena. Sure. We poured 2 glasses, sat on the couch. What should we toast to? She asked. Survival, growth, second chances. To all of that. We clinked glasses, drank. The whiskey was smooth, expensive, worth the wait. You know what's funny? Elena said. What? A year ago, I thought our life was over, that I'd destroyed everything. You almost did. We almost did. But we didn't. We're here, stronger, different. Better different? Yeah, better different. We finished our drinks, went to bed, made love for the first time in months. Slow, tender, reconnecting. After, Elena lay in my arms. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. Do you mean it? Really mean it? Yes. It took time to find my way back to meaning it. But yes, she cried then. Happy tears, healing tears. February came with routine, work, home, life. Normal in a way I'd never thought we'd achieve again. Jake and I met for coffee twice. Awkward, but improving. Elena started a book club, finding community beyond us. I joined a basketball league, rediscovering pieces of myself I'd lost. One Tuesday, Dr. Reeves suggested spacing our sessions to quarterly check-ins. You've done the work, she said. You have the tools. Trust yourselves. Are we ready? Elena asked in the car after. Only one way to find out. March brought spring and possibilities. We planted a garden in our new yard, bought patio furniture, hosted dinners. I want to try for a baby, Elena said one evening, apropos of nothing. Really? Really? I want to build a family with you. If you're ready. I think I am. Yeah, let's try. April was full of hope and trying. May brought disappointment. Not pregnant yet. June, the same. Maybe it's not meant to be, Elena said after another negative test. Maybe it just takes time, like everything else with us. I'm scared I ruined our chance, that waiting so long. Hey, we'll figure it out, together, like always. July brought Jake's wedding invitation. He was marrying someone new, someone healthy, someone who didn't know his history. Are we going? Elena asked. I think we should, to support new beginnings. Even though it's weird, everything about our situation is weird. Might as well embrace it. The wedding was beautiful. Jake looked happy, really happy. His new wife, Sarah, was lovely, kind, good for him. During the reception, Jake found us. Thank you for coming. It means everything. Congratulations, I said, meaning it. Sarah seems wonderful. She is. She knows everything, by the way, about us, about what happened. She wanted to meet you both. Sarah appeared then, radiant in white. You must be Dalen and Elena. Jake's told me so much about you. All bad, I'm sure, Elena joked. No, he told me how you all found your way back, how forgiveness is possible. It gave me hope that people can change. They can, I said, looking at Jake. With work. And good friends, Jake added. Even ones you don't deserve. We danced at their wedding, Elena and I holding each other close, watching Jake dance with his bride. New chapters for everyone. August brought news. Elena was pregnant. Really? I stared at the test. Really? 3 of them. All positive. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. We cried, laughed, called our parents, celebrated quietly, cautiously. Are you happy? Elena asked that night. Beyond happy, terrified, but happy. You? Same. I can't believe it's real. Our timing's always been weird. Why stop now? September was doctor's appointments and morning sickness and planning. We turned the spare room into a nursery. Soft yellows and greens, hopeful colors. I want Jake and Sarah to be in the baby's life, Elena said one day, if you're okay with it. Not as godparents. No, just as family friends. Uncle Jake and Aunt Sarah. I'll think about it. October, my 37th birthday. Elena threw another small party. Jake and Sarah came. It was almost normal. Almost like the before times, but better. Harder earned. To second chances, Jake toasted. And third chances. And friends who give them. To growth, I countered. And the people who grow with us. November brought the anatomy scan. A girl. Healthy. Perfect. A girl, Elena breathed, staring at the ultrasound. Our daughter. What should we name her? Something new. No family names. No history. Just hers. Hope? 2 on the nose. Grace? Maybe. Let's see who she becomes. December was preparation and anticipation. Christmas with both families. Everyone excited about the baby. New Year's with Jake and Sarah, playing board games and drinking sparkling cider. Who would have thought? Jake said as midnight approached. All of us here. Happy. Not me, I admitted, but I'm glad we are. To unexpected endings, Sarah toasted. To new beginnings, Elena added. January was cold and waiting. February brought false alarms. March 15th, Josephine's actual birthday, ironically, our daughter arrived. 6 pounds, 12 ounces of perfect. She's here, Elena whispered, holding her. She's real. What's her name? The nurse asked. Elena looked at me. I looked at our daughter. Lily, I said. Her name is Lily. Lily Grace, Elena added. Perfect. That night, as Elena slept and I held Lily, I thought about the journey, the betrayal, the pain, the slow reconstruction, all of it leading to this moment, this tiny person who would never know how broken we'd been, who would only know the love we'd rebuilt. Jake texted, "Congratulations. Can't wait to meet her." I replied, "Soon." And Jake, thank you. For what? For effing up. For forcing us to rebuild. For becoming the friend you should have been all along. I love you too, brother. April was sleepless nights, and endless laundry, and love so fierce it scared me. Elena was a natural mother. I fumbled through fatherhood, learning as I went. You're doing great, she assured me during a 3 a.m. feeding. I have no idea what I'm doing. Neither do I, but we're doing it together. Together. May brought Jake and Sarah to meet Lily. Watching Jake hold her, gentle and careful, I felt the last of my anger dissolve. She's perfect, he said. You guys did good. We did, didn't we? Uncle Jake's going to spoil you, he told Lily, but not too much. Your dad would unalive me. Damn right. June. Our anniversary. 6 years married, 2 years since that hotel. A lifetime and yesterday. No regrets? Elena asked as we watched Lily sleep. None. You? Only that it took us so long to get here. Maybe we needed the long way. Maybe. But we're here now. Yeah, we are. July was first smiles and tiny giggles. August brought crawling attempts. September, October, November. A blur of firsts and growth and ordinary magic. December. Another Christmas. Lily's first. Surrounded by family, chosen, and blood. Jake played Santa. Sarah took pictures. Elena and I watched our daughter discover wrapping paper. Perfect, Elena murmured. Yeah. New Year's Eve. Quiet celebration at home. Lily asleep in her crib. Elena and I on the couch. Tired but content. Resolutions? She asked. To be present. Every day. To love without fear. To raise her knowing she's loved. To show her what fighting for something looks like. Midnight came quietly. We kissed. Soft and familiar. I love you, I said. I love you too. Thank you for this life. Thank you for fighting for it. January 2nd. Coffee with Jake. Our monthly tradition now. How's fatherhood? He asked. Exhausting. Amazing. You? Sarah's pregnant. Jake, that's incredible. Yeah. Due in July. We're terrified. You'll be great. Both of you. I hope so. I want to do better. Be better. You already are. Thanks to you. To second chances. To growth. To friendship. To all of it. We finished our coffee. Talked about mundane things. Work. Sports. Baby gear recommendations. Normal friend stuff. Hard-won normal. At home, Elena was reading to Lily. I stood in the doorway watching them. My girls. My life. Rebuilt from ashes. Stronger for the breaking. Daddy's home, Elena said, spotting me. Lily reached for me, babbling happily. I scooped her up, kissed her head. Good coffee? Elena asked. Yeah, Sarah's pregnant. Oh, wonderful. When? July. Lily will have a friend. Yeah, full circle, huh? The best kind. That night, After Lily was asleep, Elena and I sat on our porch, the same porch where Jake and Elena had their private chat years ago. Now it was ours, reclaimed, redeemed. Do you ever think about what would have happened if I hadn't found that hotel confirmation? I asked. Sometimes. I think we would have imploded eventually. The foundation was already cracked. And now? Now we have a foundation we built ourselves, stone by stone, stronger because we know how easily it can crumble. I love you. I love you too. Always have. Even when I forgot to show it. We both forgot for a while. Never again. Never again. We sat in comfortable silence, holding hands. Inside, our daughter slept peacefully. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new joys, new ordinary moments. But tonight, we were here, together, whole. The journey from betrayal to redemption had been long, painful, worth every step. We'd lost ourselves and found something better, not perfect, scarred in places, careful in others, but real, tested, true. In the distance, a dog barked. A car passed. Life continued its rhythm around us. Ready to go in? Elena asked. In a minute. This is nice. Yeah, it is. So we sat a while longer. No longer the people we'd been when this started. No longer naive about the work love requires. But here, together, building tomorrow on the ashes of yesterday. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything.